So this is the problem. If you have a varus deformity, it's less forgiving because it can alter the biomechanics of the shoulder. Okay, so that's the paper, and the same thing is highlighted in different papers. So second paper for that. So it's all about keeping the center of rotation of your shoulder and keeping the force couple intact. So for that, we need to reconstruct the normal anatomy of the proximal shoulder. Okay. So my talk is how to prevent the varus collapse. So there are a few steps. First one is anatomical reduction of the fracture, which already been mentioned. And second thing is locking plate. It's actually a repetition of what everyone has said, and using the calcar screw or run-home screw properly. Bone cement augmentation, I have struck it off because I don't do that. And the second thing is double plating on the medial side, which I don't do that. The sixth one is a medial strut graft, which I always do for a very comminuted one, and neutralizing the supraspinatus, which was demonstrated very nicely before. I will do a CT scan in very comminuted fractures. I'll just go through that. Okay, so the first measure is anatomical reduction, which has already been mentioned, the importance of anatomical reduction. Nothing can replace that. Okay, so the attachment of the calcar, if you got a larger calcar, you know that AVN is a less possibility with the large calcar onto the proximal humerus, but it can help the stability as well. Role of lesser tuberosity, if lesser tuberosity is attached, then it's very good. And the screw to reduce the fragment, you should not use the screw as a reduction tool. Okay, you need a prerequisite is a proper reduction of the fracture. So it has already been shown by using the periosteo elevator to reduce it and then fix it properly. Okay, again the role of calcar. You know that attachment of the calcar is very important. If it's on the proximal side, we all know that it will prevent AVN, but it also increases stability. The second point is using a locking plate. It's already been demonstrated nicely, but you need to know the locking plate principle. The locking plate principle is that you will be converting the two interface into one interface, so one less chance of a failure. And polyaxial screws. Polyaxial screw axial. Before that, I will tell you that the fixation is only on the shaft of the humerus. The proximal part, the head of the humerus, we are never fixing it, we are scaffolding it. You can see a nice scaffold there. So it's always scaffolding to prevent the collapse, to prevent the varus collapse. So proximally is not the fixation, distally is the fixation to the shaft. And the pull-out strength is increased by polyaxial screws. That is what I want to show. The scaffolding is there, and exactly the same thing we are repeating with these sort of plates. The third one is a run-home screw or the calcar screw. The importance has already been shown. That is where you got a very good chunk of bone, which is a very hard bone, and it can maintain the neck shaft angle as well. And preferably, you need to put two. Sometimes what happens is putting three calcar screws is very difficult. That is the triangular shape calcar construct. Fourth one is a bone cement augmentation, which I don't use, and it's in the literature for the bone cement augmentation for bone loss and lot of combination. I don't use that because of cement leakage and everyone knows from the arthroplasty section that there can be PMMA induced osteolysis and sort of thing. I don't use that. Why should we introduce another complicated thing there? Another measure is a double plating to prevent on the medial side, double plating to prevent the varus collapse, which I don't do because I can easily do that with augmenting with the bone graft, strut graft. Here the problem is if you use a double plating, there can be an increased hardware problem. Osteoporosis, unicortical screws can be a problem. Plus the cost and time is increased. Apart from that, we got another alternatives. So medial strut graft, that is the one which I always rely on if in difficult cases. Medial calcar, when it's comminuted and the bone loss medial on the medial calcar, higher probability of a varus collapse. So I always use a graft, a strut graft. I always take it from the ilia crest, and it got a nice shape on that. You can see that it's nice shape there, which will actually congruent onto the medial side of the calcar. So I don't take any fibular graft. Usually I take a 5 centimeter graft, which is enough. And next step is neutralizing the supraspinatus. You should always, on table, you feel that it's a stable one, but neutralize the cuff, otherwise you can burn your fingers, okay? Always neutralize your finger. Neutralize your supraspinatus, otherwise the pull of a supraspinatus is so great that it can pull out anything, especially in the osteoporotic bone. You put a couple of screws through that, it will cut out. I usually take a number 5 ethibond, as I mentioned number 2 ethibond. I take a number 5 ethibond, and so all place has got a provision for a fixation of the sutures. Okay, I'll show you one case. It's a 60-year-old female, delayed presentation, went into non-union, functional disability. That was initially the X-ray, and that was the CT scan. A deltopectoral approach. I usually do the deltopectoral approach when I'm doing the plating. Okay, so we can see that the proximal humerus there is rounded off. So it's cleaned up, and a graft from the 5 centimeter graft from the is actually 6 centimeter graft from the ilia crest was taken. Put it nicely. That is demonstrated on that that picture. Okay, so and neutralization of the cuff, and pulled it back to the plate. So that's a nice construct. So you can see that whether to pass the screw through the distal the shaft screws, proximal shaft screw through the graft or not, depends on. It's nice if you can, but doesn't need because it won't collapse because of the one screw is going intramedullary. But if you can pass through, well and good. If you got a more than 5 centimeter, then definitely you can pass it through. So that is yeah. That's 7 months post-op picture. It's nicely healed. She's quite happy with happy customer. His abduction is full. Okay, I will demonstrate the rotation as well probably now. Yes, she's demonstrating the rotation. Yes, external rotation. A nice, one nice thing is that if you have got a stable fixation, you can confidently mobilize immediately. So take-home message is all about, even though it is we are talking about bone fractures and these things, fragments, is all about recreating the biomechanics of your shoulder, especially the rotator cuff. Okay, so that should give stability, and recreating the biology for biomechanics. Varus is not acceptable. It can alter the biomechanics, however small it is. But preventing the varus deformity, use the available resources. Okay, those are the available resources I have done, and it's up to you. Thank you very much.